Hi everybody, welcome to another video, and today we're doing a speed build in the world of Sulani. So the new expansion pack has just come out, and I obviously took it amongst myself and started building, and I am so excited to show you this amazing build. I was really happy with it. I thought it turned out phenomenal, and I just really enjoyed the whole thing. If you want to watch me build it live ever, follow me at Moose and the Moose on Twitch, and you can see me build the whole thing in live, and you can even come and make suggestions if you want to. If you think it's horrible, you can come help. But anyway, so this build is a 2-bedroom, 3-bathroom house, and it has a little courtyard in the middle. I'll tell you about the courtyard in a little bit. But it was took a while to get the rough shape, and then once I did get the shape, it took me a very long time to figure out how I wanted to do everything, because I'm very new to this style. I mean, I've never played with this pack really. I built my house for my Let's Play, but that's about it. And I had a lot of fun. It was a really good time getting to build it. So, if you want to watch that happen, follow me on Twitch. So right now we're just putting on the roof, and these new thatched roofs are so cool. I love them so much. The old thatched roof was kind of ugly, and so I'm so glad we got a new one. And the eaves, oh, they're so good. Like how they overhang and they look like they go farther out. I mean, it was just beautiful. I really, really highly enjoyed the new packs and all that, and everything in the pack and stuff. And it's just so good, so good. 10 out of 10. Was very, very happy with this pack and all the build items. And I really enjoyed this build in particular. I don't know, I just thought it turned out really, really well. And although it takes me a while to figure out the roofing, like as in a while, I mean like a while. I have to do a lot of work on the roofing and to get it right, but eventually I do get there, and I make this place look really, really pretty, which you'll see in just a moment. And it takes a while because I just keep on hopping around and stuff. I don't know what was with it today. Usually I'm very like, all right, let's tackle this and then this and then this. But today, for some reason, I was like, let's go everywhere and just do kind of whatever we want. And so I just was all around. Like I was doing a floor plan, and then I was decorating the outside, and then I was working on the roof again, and then I was working on the master, and it was all over the place. But we got through, and it turned out that we had a really pretty build, and I enjoyed this build so much. I think I might end up playing in this build eventually. We'll see. Just depends on where my Let's Play goes, what other kind of builds I do in the future. But it turned out really well, and I was really proud of it. If you want to download this, then you can go onto the Sims 4 gallery and go into my gallery page. My thing, what's it called? Gallery name is Moosin764, and you can go and get this build for your own island living life. Anyway, so right now I'm just playing with foundations and stuff. I was trying to get like a round thing around round fence around the little garden, the indoor garden kind of thing, but it didn't end up working, so I had to scratch the idea, and instead I surrounded it with rocks, as you can see. And this takes a hot second, but it turned out really pretty, and I really enjoyed making this courtyard. So fun story about this. My mother is from Colombia, and when I was in 4th grade, we went to Colombia on a little trip with my whole family, and we traveled around some of the cities in Colombia, and we went into the farmland. And at the farmland, we stayed at her, I don't remember who it was to her, but it was some family or friend kind of thing. And so we stayed at their house, and their house, the main, like the middle of the house was a courtyard. And when I saw the pack, I was like, huh, this kind of reminds me of Colombia, even though Colombia isn't really like island. Obviously, it's part of South America, and it's not that beachy. I mean, they do have beaches there, but it's not like not anything like Sulani. But I really just felt like this could really work with this kind of build, and so I took it, and that's where I went with it, and I think it turned out so good. I really thought that the courtyard just kind of, it was something different. I don't think I've ever seen, well, I've seen a few simmers do that, but not very many. I mean, it's not a thing that you see every day. So anyway, you can see that I'm working on the floor plan, trying to figure out what doors I want to use, and this is rough, but I do think that the door from Laundry Day, I think that door works really well with this pack. I think in certain instances it's the perfect door. If you are looking for something like that, I thought it did a good job on like what I wanted it to do. So anyway, I just am going around and I start working on the kitchen, and then I don't even finish the kitchen till literally the very end of the build. Like the very end is me working on the kitchen. I was just all over the place. I don't know what was going on. So I just put the basic foundations down. And I decided not to use this island living counters. One, because there was no, what's it called? No, like, island parts, which is kind of ironic considering it's island living, but, you know. And then it was too modern for me, so I went with good old jungle living. And right now I'm trying to figure out a way to cover that up. And I end up using the curtains from the pack to make a cool little shelf kind of thing. I thought that turned out pretty cool, and it was just kind of like cute. I mean, it was kind of just like oh, let's try this, see if it works out, and it worked out really well. Whenever you have like something that you have no idea what to do, just go and look at the build and buy catalog and just be like, huh, I could do this. And instead of like being like, no, I'll just put the stove somewhere else, I just put curtains there. And I mean, it turned out pretty good, I think. I was really happy with it. And now let's talk about who I feel like lives there. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll build the whole house, and I'll be like, who do I think lives here? And so the idea for this house is that it's an old married couple. They aren't quite old enough to be retired, but they are old enough to where they don't need a job. Like, they're a little bit too old for working. And so the wife, or the female of the family, she is an ex-professional swimmer. So when she was a young kid, or a young adult, she was like a swimmer. She was really good. I mean, super talented. But obviously, as you get older, you lose that kind of talent. And so she obviously can no longer swim as well. But she has become a dive instructor in Sulani, part-time dive instructor. And then the guy, he was a botanist. He never really needed money because his wife was a professional athlete, and so he had plenty of money to suit him off. So he became a florist, and now he has his botany table on their little area on their patio, because there's a patio that's right off of the master bedroom. So that's where he does his botany, and he also has a few trees. And I like to think that they grow and eat all their own food. So they have some fishing nets, and they're like a little part of the ocean. They have the pots there, as you can see. And I was going to fill them up with like actual plants, but unfortunately I was not connected to the internet, and it was just a whole mess. It was really unfortunate. I had a difficult situation here, the fishing nets I was talking about, but I had a difficult thing. If you have the family picture, which I put the family picture thing up in the hallway because I needed something big that filled up space, and I thought they would definitely have that. Unfortunately, if you have a sim in it, it counts as CC, and so I had like this whole seashell collection that I had a whole idea. Like, I took so long. I had a sim come here, find a bunch of seashells, and then unfortunately I tried to upload the build to the gallery, and it said that it had custom content, so I went and deleted anything that could be classed as custom content, and it ended up just being the picture, not even the seashells, which really sucked because I thought the seashells were really cool. I had a whole storyline, but that was unfortunate. Anyway, but onto like their storyline. So it's two grandparents, and they have their children, and they have one child, and then that child gave birth to twins. And now the twins, I didn't decide if they sorry about that, just taking some care of some stream stuff. I couldn't decide if they lived with the grandparent or if they just came and visited often, and I kind of decided on they came and visited often. And so they have like, oh, sorry about that. Ooh, I could cut that out, but it's too late now. Oops. And Anyway, I decided that they just came and visited very often, and so they have their own little room, but it doesn't have any doors on it. It was originally, I guess, supposed to be the living room, but the parents just kind of didn't, or the grandparents just decided to make it their room / guest room, multi-purpose room. And so they have their 2 beds in there, and it's one, was imagining one girl and one boy, so they're good kids, and they just come and visit, and so there's like stuff for them everywhere. Like, there's beach towels out for them. I mean, I think they they come out like every weekend or something, like very, very often, like very often, like to the point where they just leave their stuff out, which I guess would be kind of expensive, but professional swimmer, right? Anyway, so right now I'm just like going in, putting curtains in, just decorating the outside. I think I was like, all right, I need to start actually like working out one thing at a time. I was like, all right, let's do the outside, and then I got distracted by the kitchen. This is the second time I attempted the kitchen. There's 3 times where I go in. One's in the very beginning, one's in the very middle, and one's at the very end. Here you can see I'm doing like all the beach towels, and I imagine like the 2 big ones are for the grandpa and grandma, and then the 2 small ones are for the kids. And like you can see, like there's a unicorn one for the girl, and the what are they called? The thing from kids room stuff. Void critters. The void critter towel for the boy. And here I'm just working on the dining room, and I thought the dining room was cute. I realized like the cats and dogs stuff works pretty well, like some of that stuff, because they're both like beach worlds. I mean, obviously Sulani is much more beachy than Brindleton Bay, but I thought some of the stuff worked really well, like the stuff that the bar has, that bar in Brindleton Bay. Anyway, I thought it turned out really well, and I have a little picnic table with a what's it called, barbecue, and then I have a little fireplace. I thought it was pretty cute, and I imagine they cook all their own stuff like I told you, and so I think that might be where they cook it, or in the kitchen. I mean, it's a very nice, very pretty, like very modern house. I imagine like the grandparents, they moved here a few years back, and they're like, all right, let's update this boy, and they had a lot of money, and they spent all their money, not all of it, but they spent a lot of money on renovating this place and making it look really good, but at the same time still have the old like, oh, this has been around for a little bit kind of vibe. Anyway, so I thought it looked really well. And also something I could mention is that the grandmother, aside from diving, she is also a painter, and so she does paintings too. So there's a little easel for her and a botany table for him on their personal deck. I thought it was kind of cute how they both have something out there that they go and do. And I really liked the idea of them, and they made me really happy. And I really like making storylines up. I never play with them. I usually start with young adult and then try to work my way up. So I never really get to play with storylines I make, but I thought this was really cute. And, it was fun and fresh, I thought it was cute, and I'm glad I did it. And also, I think that the wife also sails, too. That's why they have a sailboat. Now I'm just going in, painting on the walls, because I was like, oh, I haven't painted any of the walls at all. And I was like, I should probably do that. So I go around and just paint the walls. And now I'm working on the hallway. This is where I start tackling each room individually. And so I start in this hallway. I choose a little beach painting there with some plants and a lamp. And then I'll work, and then I get that. That's the thing that caused all the trouble and made me very upset. I have a little coat rack, and I put it into the wall so it looks like it's like a shelving unit, and then they put hooks inside of it to hang their stuff, and I thought that was kind of cool. It's interesting what you can do with like hiding certain parts of like an object. I thought that was a good thing to like hide. I do that a lot with bookshelves too. So this is where I was imagining their seashell collection would be. Like the grandma and the granddaughter, they have their own seashell collection. And I went out of my time, and I went and I got all the seashells. Not all of them, but I got a lot of seashells. I probably had like 20 or something. And then I put them on the shelf. Took a long time because I had to place them each myself. And then, turns out that I had CC in my game, and so my first thought was that it was that, and then because I don't play with any CC, like none, and so my first thought was that it was that collection. I was like, all right, I'll have to delete it, and then I deleted it, and it's still there, and I was like, oh shoot, and I looked around, and I remembered that I put some dog toys into the little dog toy thing, and I was like, oh, it must be that, and I deleted that, and then placed it back so it didn't have anything in it. And then it still had it, and then I finally was like, oh, it was a stupid family picture thing, because I had to move a sim there so I could, 1, get the seashells, and 2, adjust the lights so it was better lighting. And it was really upsetting, but we got through. And yeah, if you saw that plant that I put on that table, I've never used that before, never even seen it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a good plant. Here's where I'm attempting to make a little garden, because I was like, I wasn't connected to the gallery at the time, so I was like, I can't go into the gallery and like get plants. So I was like, darn, well, we'll just have to use these. I think it turned out pretty well, so I was happy with that. And right now I'm adding in some cute little decorations for the kids' room / multi-purpose room, some candles, and I think I did a plant or a lamp. I think it was a lamp, but I have no idea. It was a plant, yeah. It was a plant, I remember. Now I realize I forgot rugs in the room, so I put a rug in the dining room and the kids' room. And then I believe we go and work on the master, or we might work on the outside for a little bit more. I'm not sure. I was trying to add in more like kid stuff, but I was like, So I based this whole room around that stupid plant because I was like, I'm going to use this plant because I was so excited. I found it in the catalog and I was like, oh, this is perfect. So I used it and I forced myself to put it in this room. And then I just put up a little seating area, and that's the only TV in the whole house. And I was like, yeah, they can have it. I feel like when the kids are there, they get the computer and they get the TV. And then, yeah, we're almost done. We just have like some little detail stuff that I go on, finish the kitchen eventually, just play around with some of the stuff for a little bit because it's not like my first time playing with the ocean really. And here's where where I forgot about the whole kitchen, and so now I go take care of it. Also, I've noticed a few glitches with some of the objects where they'll have duplicates of them in a different color. I was like, that's kind of weird. So anyway, I was like, okay. And right now I'm just going through and finding the stuff I want to put into the kitchen and deciding like what kind of plants, what kind of decorations. So, and I put a dog bed. Oh, they have a schnauzer. That's why I imagine they have a little schnauzer that follows them everywhere, and so they have a little bed for them in the guest room, and they have one by the fireplace, or the fire pit and all that. So I thought that was kind of a cute little like addition to the family. So, and then I'm just going through getting all the things that I thought I could possibly use, and there was a lot of stuff. I crammed some good stuff into here. I'm just checking out that pride flag that we just got, and it was this kitchen was pretty good. I could have done a better job, but at this point I was starting to get a little bit tired and kind of not wanting to decorate to my fullest potential, so I just kind of placed some stuff around, but I think it turned out well anyways. And I put some little shrubs in the laundry room. There's also a laundry room, so if you download this you'll have laundry. We'll see it though. But you do have a dishwasher, which is kind of fun, and a bin, and and I put some books on top of the fridge because I thought that was like really realistic. Like that's something that we have at my house. I mean, we have a bunch of cookbooks and stuff on top of the fridge, so I thought that was pretty cool. Now I just go around and edit a few things, try to get the floaties just right. I move the towels over and the fishnets to the side, and then I believe, yeah, that was kind of it. And I just go around and add a few final touches. This is me trying to figure out what was a CC. It was a very annoying problem, but we worked it all out, and I think it turned out pretty good. Alright, here's some screenshots of the build. So remember, if you liked it, leave a like, and if you want more of this content, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you'll be notified when I post another video. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a comment on things I can improve on. If you want to watch me build this kind of thing live, follow me, Moose and the Moose, on Twitch. And I believe that is it, and I shall see you all tomorrow with the next episode of the Let's Play. Bye everybody.